It took him 9 regattas to pronounce his name correctly.
Tell him you're Barb Bradley. He'll think that's about it.
I'm a slow learner, but I do learn eventually. You would think English is my second language if you listen to enough of these videos. But here we are, day 2, January 9th. Talking to Barb Bratzer's wife. Barb Bratzer's, what's your name?
Susie.
Susie. Thanks, Susie. She's, I got a pronunciation lesson to take the R out, so Barb Bratzer. Oh. What was that, a general recall?
No, they knew you didn't have the camera going, so they...
No, I do have the camera going.
Now, they knew the cameraman was lame ass on that one, so they sent everybody back.
Oh. All right. – 20 seconds. 4 Charlie. Day 2.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And they're off. Looks like we had a general recall on the first one while I was getting heckled by my fans. Here, January 9th, Dan Shire reporting live, Hobe Sound, Florida.
Thank you.
IOM USA Nationals. So we head upwind. Got Will Van Cleef, Jim Sears in the middle of the course here. On starboard. Played some rock and roll bingo last night. Not sure anybody won. In the will, tack on to starboard here. There's the wind. We were waiting for wind for a little bit. Now it's ratcheted itself up, getting a little more pressure. Boats spread across both sides of the course. The starboard love being administered. Here come the port guys from the left. Everybody's pretty low. It's like Will's got a good angle in there. Might get there first. So the light air tune's working well.
Really?
Looks like Will Van Cleef in the 7-6 boat rounds first, followed by Brian Pace out of Ohio, the pink boat. Two 6, our sailor out of Argentina. I believe that's Diego Lawyer. I'll have to look that up again. Got buried down on her in the 2-7 boat. Jim Sears, Seguici, boy with a dream, 7-4, dreaming of a bump up. You got Gary Bull there behind Jim in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place. So there's your 6. Chick Binnick in our leaders. Will Van Cleef in the 7-6. Brian Pace in the 7-3. I think a pretty orderly downwind. Everybody just going straight to the marks. So Will first to the windward, first to leeward. Will goes outside. Brian going to the outside. So a few other boats poised to go to the inside as the peloton converges. Check back in on Will here. There's Will coming at me. 7-6 boat. Brian Pace still in 7-3. Pride of Argentina. I hope I'm right. My memory is correct that is Diego, the 2-6 boat. I'll check after this race and file an official retraction if I'm screwing up your name, Diego. Jim Sears, 7-4. Looks like in 4th place. Barry Donaher out of Utah. Gonna get punished. Ducks a couple boats. Gary Bowl. Barry coming up to the inside. Attacking for water. Scott Graff, our EC12 class secretary, beating up on some IOM folks. As check back in, Will still out front, clear air, good pressure coming in. Hopefully my boat's not blowing off the stand. Diego coming over here to the right, the 2-6 boat. The skipper's head upwind. Will, looks like he's eyeballing the right side mark. The skipper's lumber by. Will forced to do a little tack. And by Diego. So Will, looks like he might lead this one wire to wire, get the bump up, 6 up, 6 down here at Hobe Sound. Is it 52 boats total? I think we're at. Fred, 52 boats total?
52 boats total.
52, all right, here at Hobe Sound.
9 countries, 4 different continents. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks for everybody visiting our IOM Nationals here in Hobe Sound. There's Will. Is 26 Diego?
From Argentina, yes.
Diego Lawyer?
Lawyer, yes.
Is that correct? All right, I got it right. That's good. Well, Diego's making a run for first place here. Got a whole country cheering for you back home, Diego. As Jim Sears got his Sedici powered up. Works his way into 3rd place. We got Brian Peace, also known as Brian Pace.
That's right. I'm so sorry, Brian. That's my fault.
In the pink boat, in the 7-3. And then we got Scott Graff in the 7-7. In 5th place, and oh boy, it's going to be a battle for 6th here. Got Barry Donaher, John Luscombe, no H, no Lush in Luscombe. So I'm working on that. English as my second language. As check back in with our leader, Will. Will heading to the outside. Went to the outside both times. Got Diego right on his hip. But if you're gonna make top 6, it's best not to mess with each other. Just sail clean. Finish the race and you get to go into B Fleet. So we got one extra D Fleet race yesterday at the end of the day, and then this was the first race here at C Fleet. There's Will Van Cleef in the 7-6, Diego Lawyer in the 2-6 boat, the green 2-6, the green numbers. Jim Sears in 3rd place in the 7-4. As they come up, looks like Barry Donaher, who was battling, went to the inside. We'll see if that gets him to 6. John Luscombe there too. Luscombe. The 0-3. Powered up in his Vente. Blue Vente. Battling for that 6th place spot. Diego and Will still going at it in 7-6. Will's able to fend him off. Oh, Diego tacks away. Backs away, might get onto the starboard boat. That might be kind of exciting here. As Will's trying to pinch in there on port. See how they do. Diego's going to have to do a little tack here to make it. I think Will's going to get it. Looks like Will, then Diego in second. Jim Sears in the 7-4 boat in third. I'll predict Brian in fourth in the Proteus. Pink Proteus, first time on the water. Brian's never seen a roll of plastic he didn't like. There's Scott Graff in fourth. Chuck Milliken snuck into fifth out of nowhere. Coach Chuck. Nice job, Chuck. And looks like John Lescombe's going to get that last bump up spot. Barry tried to find a way. Didn't find it. That was 148. There's Mike Feldman across the line in the 1-5 boat. Barry 2-7. Ulf and the Alioth coming in strong in the 1-1-2. 0-1-6-7. Oh, camera slip. Sorry, folks. Gary Bowl. Foul. Earlier in the race, had to do a penalty turn. Gary hits the mark for good measure. But not a problem. Won't change anything for Gary there. Oh, Gary does 2 turns for good measure. And that's a race. 11 minutes. 4 Bravo, but I don't know if he called the general or no, I think it was general recall. Hold please. For Bravo, general recall on the last one. Gonna try it again. 20 seconds to go as the boys spread out on the line. Still a lot of guys fighting for the pin.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, another general. Third time's a charm. "20 seconds, 4 Bravo, Friday morning, January 9th, 2026.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Third start, U flag was up. Somebody got called over early.
That's not my problem.
As we head upwind. Finally get off and did make an adjustment to start line to make the boat end less favored. We got George Pedrick in the 5-7 at Richmond, California, chased down Skip Miller in the 7-8 boat from the Bahamas/Florida. And Mark Allison doing Mark Allison things, the 5-5 heading up the middle here. Head up in the wind. Oh. Looks like majority of guys going to that left-hand mark. George Pedrick, 5-7 boats. We got 4-8, Jose Valverde from Spain, 4-8 boat, second place. Top 6 promote. Skip Miller in third in the 7-8. Mark Galson in 5-5 in fourth. Jim Sears in fifth, looking for another bump up. And Chuck Milliken gonna defend that 6th place spot fiercely. Comes over the edge, trying to get out of the dirty air from the rest of the fleet. See if we can get that Viz powered up going downwind. 2-5 boat, Chuck Luscombe. No H in Luscombe, Dan. Steve Landau, like toe, 1-2 boat. Working on my pronunciations this weekend. Dave Ramos in the, or no, that's Larry Grant in the 8-5. Out there as, who made it first? George Pedrick, 5-7, goes the inside mark. Jose going to the outside, we'll see. See which side pays. George getting some height. Jose getting some distance. See where they come back together here. George tacks onto starboard. Jose still on starboard on that far right side. As everybody navigates the downwind gate, everybody getting there at the same time, but Jose and George have kind of checked out. Jose coming back on port. Let's see where they... Oh, George tacks back. It's a little bite. George maintains first. Even with an extra tack in there. Jose tacks with him. Big right shift comes in. Mark Galson has 3rd and 4th here. Skip in the 7-8 boat. Mark in the 5-5. Both blue boats. Mark in the Vente. Jim Sears making the Cidici great again. A boy with a dream. Italian designed boats, Spanish built. Lots going on here. The rest of the fleet, back up. George legging it out. George traveled all the way to New Zealand this year. Him and Gene Harris went down there. Battle with the Kiwis. George makes it first. Jose in the 4-8 boat second. 3rd place. Mark and Skip are trying to make it. Skip's got to stay up, kind of leaning on Mark a little there. Boys sail on. George and Jose pick their way through the fleet. Oh, I don't know what happened to George there. Penalty turn. I missed it. So George and Jose Valverde, hopefully I'm saying that right, the 4-8 from Spain. Trying to bring his country glory here in Hobe Sound. Skip Miller in the 7-8. Got a little separation from Mr. Galson, but top 6 all that matters. Mark's in 4th in the 5-5. Jimmy Sears, boy with a dream, in 5th. Now we'll Looks like Dave Ramos and Diego Loyer, 2-6, our Argentinian representative. So we got multiple continents here at the USA Nationals that we'd like to see. Stan Wallace in the 6-9 boat, you guys trying to get that 6th spot, get up into A fleet. As George and Jose come over here to the left, and first and second came to the right side. Looks like Mark went to the outside. As George picks his way through some of the stragglers. George confident, do it on port. Jose continues on into starboard. Gets a little on top of George, but George still hanging on to it, I think. George in the 5-7 in first, Jose in the 4-8 in second. Mark Allison squeaked past Mr. Miller in the third. Skip in the 7-8 boat in fourth. And fifth and sixth is a crapshoot. So this battle for fifth and sixth. It's like Diego in the 2-6 boat. Jim Sears is going to try to find a way. Steve Lando out there in the 1-2. As I missed the finish, George finished first, Jose in second, Mark in third. What did I say? This is a B4 here on Friday morning. Looks like Skip's going to hang on to fourth, and Diego in the 2-6 boat going to be fifth, and Mr. Ramos looks like he got to sixth. Jimmy Sears, boy with a nightmare, is not going to be happy with seventh. As the rest of the fleet comes in, there's Stan Wallace. 1-0 boat, Mike French, I think, hopefully. 2-5 boat, Chuck Luscombe, Brian Pace, Larry Grant, and that's wrapping up the B fleet. Alright, 4 Alpha. All the boats spread out up across the line. Got Jeff Becker, hopefully, in the 6-5 boat. I know Jeff's the first name. I'll work on that last name. Got Tony Gonzalez here on the other side in the 5-1. I'm going to have to tack for water soon. As the skippers lumber on through. Chooses to tack back in his Polaris. Got Mark Dawson squirting out front. Just did a B fleet race, and now up here in the A fleet. 5-5 boat. Mark, a Southern California boy, longtime sailor out of Long Beach, California. There's a new kid in the IOM block, Kenny Reed, walking away there. Doing well. As we head up to our windward gates, outside in, trying to reduce the pile up. So for you course setters out there, if you're going to do upwind gates, make sure you set them far enough apart. I think most people set them too narrow. these are pretty good. We're not having the normal calamities, but Hobe Sound, we can really walk with our boats the whole length of the course, probably never further than 30, 40 yards away from your boat, so that's a great venue as we watch the mark roundings up there. I babble on about nothing. And then we've got Ken Reed and his new white Viz and the 04 green graph stripes out front. Baron Bremer's having a great regatta after day one. Short day one because we were still measuring in the 8-1 boat second. We got Mark Allison, Jose Valverde coming down. There's Peter Feldman, the 4-4. Alex Ramos, the 115. Jeff, I want to say Jeff Beck, but that's a rock star. But I think it's Jeff Becker.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff Becker in the 6'5" boat, going fast in his Vente. I think he's a Southern California boy originally, but showing up here for some model sailing. Kenny Reed trying to go wire to wire in the 04. Kenny was a victim of an ant attack. Somebody stuck ants in Kenny's shoes here at Hobe Sound. Got to survive the elements out here. So Kenny's sailing mad with hurt feet, and it's working for him out there in the 04. And Jose Valverde, the 4-8 out of Spain, and Jeff Becker, I believe, in the 6'5", and Baron Bremer running up the middle, the 8-1 boat. Forget what Baron's sailing. Baron's got lots of boats, hard to keep track. Baron, another local Florida boy. Here's Peter trying to claw back at Ken Reed, 4-4 boat. Some nice pictures of sail shape and angles these guys are sailing. As Ken tries to hold off Baron and the rest of the fleet. 04.
Stepping off the beach for water.
See if we can cover everything. And he's still front in the 04. Still looks like Baron in second in the 8-1. Jeff Becker in the 6'5". But, Brian Shores working the edges. The 117. Peter's made it up onto Kenny's hip here. As a starboard boat. They cross Jeff there into this inside mark. As Kenny's going to try to do it wire to wire in the 04. Peter's knocking on the door though. We got won't leave Jose out. Top sailor out of Spain who's here to crush some American souls, but doing well here in A Fleet, the 4-8 boat. So it looks like that left side paid for Jose. He's managed his place into third now. Tony Gonzalez in fourth. Baron Brenner looks like he had a bad rounding up there, back to fifth. Second to fifth. Here's Brian Shores going fast downwind. New blue Vente in the 117, and Gary Winton in the 5'4", doing well. I think a V11, V something, Vickers boat for sure. Barbats are there in the 6'4" boat. Jeff has lost some spots in 6'5". So check back in, and Kenny still hanging on the lead. Got our guest color commentator here, Mr. Chuck Luscombe. Going to throw in some wisdom for us. As Kenny tries to hold off Peter. There's no bumping up from A Fleet, so these guys fight for every spot. It's not like BCD where top 6, you're okay. You race again. Ooh, Kenny and Peter splitting the marks. We'll see. Peter the inside, Kenny on the outside. Looks like Jose in the 4-8 boat to the outside. Tony Gonzalez to the inside. Let's see where Peter and Kenny cross. If they do end up crossing, maybe Peter's coming to the right. Try to give some starboard love to Kenny, or hoping for a big right shift. The US Mint is counting on him. Peter's got a contract to bring the penny back. He needs raw materials for his viz. Keep that copper color shiny. Peter tacks, Kenny, they had a little separation, but Kenny's coming back now. Let's see if Peter can out tactic Kenny. Still pretty far apart. All Peter needs a big righty to come in. Big righty. See where they cross. All that work, Peter, for... oh! Back to about where you guys were, but you got to try. Kenny covers, Peter tacks. Nice little tacking duel going on here. Kenny tacks back. These guys want it. Every point matters when you're a single-digit guy. At least that's what I hear. I don't know from personal experience. But Kenny looks like first boat on starboard, closest to the line. Small lines are a little tough. Really got to hit the lane. So Kenny is first, Peter Feldman in second. Looks like Jose is hanging on to third. We got Jeff's head in fourth. Jose in third. Tony Gonzalez in fourth, the 5-1. Brian Shores looks like hanging on to fifth. Our bats are in a sixth. Hopefully I got these numbers right. Whoa, the camera malfunction. Oh, Barron slamming it in there. And finish really was a bad one to Gary. Making poor Gary back up through the line. All right. That's a wrap for A Fleet. All right, B Fleet race, 5 Bravo, I believe, fifth race here on a lovely Friday. Better be sailing than working, so shooting a little fill. As the boys tack up wind for the first time, trying to get the top 6 as they mosey along. Upwind crawl as Bill Benz tacks on the starboard there in the 8-8 boat. Chuck Less coming in the 2-5. Alex Ramos out there in the 1-1-5. So we look at our windward gates, outside in. Most of the fleet's over here to the right. I think there was a kind of a lefty everybody took advantage of. As Mark Galson finds his way around the Mark first in the 5-5 boat. 1-0, I believe is Mike French, hopefully. As Mark gets onto starboard, does a big reach downwind, so must be a big lefty there. So things swirl around. Ready for the trees. Mark's coming over here. This size as Mike gets powered up in the middle. Scott Graff, the 7-7 boat. I'm having a senior moment. 6'9" from Bahamas. Steve Lando with the big toe. Tried to slice his finger off early. Day one of measurements. He's out there in the 1-2. Got a little splint on his finger. Playing hurt. Just like the NFL out here, folks. Model sailing. Look at our leeward gate. Looks like Mark's coming to the inside. Mike's going to the outside. Stan Wallace, that's it. It's deep in the memory bank. 52 names. I'm working hard for you guys. Names and numbers. But things are going good here today. Scott Graff tacks on the starboard first. Mark goes with them. 5-5. It's a B fleet race, so these guys just want top 6. I know you get tired of me saying that, but just got to keep the public informed. Ooh, as Mike French in the 1-0 gets the gains from going to that outside mark. So it looks like the outside paid. Steve Lando in the 1-2 punch. Forget what he's sailing. Maybe Vente. Mark Gallison right on his hip in the 5-5. Scott Graff in the 7-7. Stan Wallace tacks away at 6'9". Says I'm not going to eat that dirty air. Get some clean hair. Try to get some boat links. Nibble back at you guys. Dave Ramos to the 0-5. Britpop. Second-hand Britpop from Gary Pole's stables. I think Gary wants it back. It's a fast one. There's a B fleet race. Lumber's on. As I stand on the uneven ground. Dave Ryan pulls his boat out. Not sure what the problem was. But Mike French, hopefully that's the right name for the 1-0. I'm going with it. If not, folks will correct me. Gets up there first, so outside paid, got ahead of Gallison and Scott. And he's gonna pick his way through the downwind boats. Steve Coricho? I'm screwing that up. I got Todd Curacao that I can't save. Steve, can't say. Mike French, I can say, if I got the right boat. 1-0. It's like a Vente. Steve Landau powered up out there in the 1-2. Followed by Mark Gallison in the 5-5. Trying to hang on to the top 6. Stan Wallace in 4th. Another blue boat. Unknown sail numbers. Let's guess. Skip Miller? Who knows? Oh, 7-7. Scott Graff. Should have known that. That's Dave Ramos and Will Van Cleef team up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the battle for 6 there. Dave and Will. See how that pans out. Gloves come off. last trip up. Steve Lando. 1-2. Let's give you give Steve some fame. He's trying to claw back at Mike French, but Steve's pretty calculated. I'm sure he's saying, nah, top 6 is good enough for a B fleet race. Let's go get our A fleet score, so small numbers are good. It's sailing, just like golf. Birdie, birdie, birdie. That's what you like. Ooh, big righty. At least Mike saw a big righty. Steve's still way off the wind over there, but takes a big bite. Coming back, got Mark Olson, 5-5, sneaking up the middle here. Kind of on starboard so you can get ahead. I think Mike's gonna get it. Mark's gonna sneak past Steve potentially. Steve's gonna get a little height so he can come in fast on port there. Mike. 1, 2, 3. Steve in 3rd, Dave in 4th, Scott in 5th, Stan in 6th. So Stan sneaks in there in front of Will to steal the last bump up. As Will Van Cleef comes over, got Sean Bradley in the 4-6 boat. Alex Ramos sailing well on day 1, the 115. George Frederick in the 5-7. And now you don't want to be the bottom 6, or you're going to get back down to C fleet. So 2, 4, yeah, those might be our new C fleet attenders. That's a wrap for B fleeter.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, A fleet race. I forgot the number. 5 Alpha. That's a total guess. Up bar Batzer doing the jumping. The bar Batzer bounce as we head upwind.
I'm doing it.
Peter Feldman 4-4, heading up the middle. Got
Steve, I got a tag bike.
Paul Todd on the right, the 169. Steve Lando, the 1-2, hanging on to his starboard. As I fall in a hole here, sorry folks. Get my stabilizer on. Just ignore that. Stan Wallace made a charge from B fleet up here in A. So we head up to our windward gate. Freeway serenade. You know, sometimes when the big truck goes by, you get a little lift. Line of cars get a little headed. So we gotta play the freeway shift up here. As looks like Jeff Becker in the 6-5 in the round first. Him and Peter neck and neck. There's Jeff up here. Fight for the lead in a fleet race. Neck and neck here with Peter. Got Brian Shores, the 117, getting his new Vente up and running. Steve Landau, IOM Whisper, in the 1-2 boat, hanging into 4th. So Steve's liking that. Look at Scott Graff making the EC12 great again. 7-7 boat. Stan Wallace in the 6'9" there in 356, and then whole rest of the fleet. Pretty picture there, but we're shooting video. I can snap a picture with my video maybe. Magical technology. Boys size up the leeward gate. If you remember the last race, Mike French went to the outside and everybody else went inside. Got some big gains. Into first. Mike's getting a little beat up in this race. Jeff and Brian go to the outside. Brian tacks in right away. Brian likes clean air. Nobody around, so you can just sail fast. So the wind's picked up. Got Larry Grant down here, cutting in on my video royalties. He's gonna owe me some royalties. Shooting some videos. Steve Lando tacking out. Peter Feldman. Sponsoring the U.S. Treasury. Keeping the penny great again. Not sure how long I'll use that joke, but it's the only one I got right now. As Brian finds himself in first with that early tack. Jeff on the outside. A little higher, but behind. Steve Landau hugging the weeds. Lando. It's a lot of time saying that name wrong, Steve. I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. As go 3 wide. Brian's the highest of them all. Steve decides to get offshore, attack. Staring at Peter's transom as Brian sails on by himself. Sailing away. You guys really tight into shore behind the weeds up there. All I can see is a mast. Forget who it is. Oh, it looks like Brian. Brian Shoresy looking for that ley line. Coming in on the long starboard. Somebody's underneath them, but they might be a little low. Jeff Becker makes it. Jeff sneaks past Brian. A little more direct route. Brian stays powered up. Brian and Jeff come downwind. Brian has to avoid a starboard boat. Unfortunately, that lets Peter reel him in a little bit, the 4-4. So we got a fight here in our A fleet race for first place. Brian squirts out front again as the wind builds. Don't see any jibs fluttering yet, but guys are any forestays flapping. So guys are still hanging in there with their rig tensions. It's Brian, Peter, and Jeff go downwind. Brian in the 117, Peter in the 4-4. Not Brian, or Jeff in 6-5. Good outing for Jeff, I think. I don't know if this is his first. I think that's a borrowed boat from Steve Landau. Maybe Jeff's first IOM event. Here he is fighting for the lead in the A fleet race. Nice job, Jeff. Long-time sailor, college coach. All the dirt I got on Jeff. I'll try to get him out drinking and we'll get some more dirt on him. So I can fill you up with my color commentary. But, wind's building, sun's out. No rain. Jeff and Peter come to the outside. Brian on the outside with tacks right away. Nice angle to sail right up the course. So big left shift. Left shift happen here, but all the boats still relatively quite together. Here I'll zoom out. Things are really close. Remember our saying, it's never too late to lose a model sailboat race. So you got to fight all the way to the bitter end. These good guys do not make many mistakes. As Brian Trying to cover everybody, but it's doing a good job in the 117.
You can go. You can go.
As Mark and Peter communicate a little bit. Mark crosses on port. Peter tacks above Jeff. We'll see if they get lifted all the way to the line, but it looks like Shoresley's going to get this one. But maybe, I don't know. Mark knows all the tricks. Collegiate sailor, lifelong sailor. He's been in every situation or scenario you can think of. Brian tacks on the starboard to take the finish line for first. Mark Allison in second, 5-5. Stan Wallace, whole line of starboard boats. Stan Wallace has to tack away. Let those starboard boats in. Can't tell from here, but that was a lot of boats. Everybody really close together. This A-Fleet race. So the cream rises to the top in HMS, but there's always 6 that go back down and have to fight their way back in. So first goal is win. Second goal is don't be bottom 6 in A-Fleet. About a 8-9 minute race. Say it's a B Fleet race. Kind of lost track of the numbers, folks. Sorry about that. But I got George Pedrick in the 5-7, followed by Barry Donaher in the 2-7, and in numerical order, John Taylor in the 2-8. John sailing a Woody, 2 Woodies in the class. John's a designer, builder, sailor out of England, now lives in Florida. Still sailing running the GBR country, representing the homeland. As the wind continues to build here. Everybody rounds and rounds. Alex Ramos in a 115 out of Maryland. Stevensville? Or no, Dave's in Stevensville. I don't know where Dave's from, but there's a father-son leading it out. Alex and Dave. Dave in 05, little Ramos team sailing in the 1-2 position. Got our class secretary out there, Mr. Mike Feldman in the 1-5 boat. Doing some B Fleet action. George coming up the middle. Big Puff heading downwind. Hopefully my boat's not blowing off its stand over there. Looks like Alex sizing up the inside mark. Dad's going to do some testing on the outside. We'll see which pays. My race, the outside really paid, but I think really got a big left shift going on right now. So I'm not sure. We'll see where Dave and Alex cross here. Alex still out front in the 115. George Pedrick out of Richmond, California. East Coast versus West Coast. Got Tony Gonzalez there in the mix in the 5-1 Polaris. Oh, looks like the outside did pay. So Dave might have got a little bit of gain on Alex, but we'll see when they cross for sure. It's George in the 5-7 coming all the way to the shore, attacking with Alex. Dave tacks. Maybe maybe Alex gets it with that shift. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. Watch the boats. They know better than me. As Alex continues off to the left while everybody else comes back right. We'll see. Alex finally says, well, that's a feast or famine move, separating that far from the fleet. Decides to come back and cover. What else is going here? George's getting pretty close to that mark up there. So George making some gains in the 5-7, this near mark. Looks like Alex might have done a little too much tacking. Dave just tacks inside of George, gets around, gentlemanly rounding, and George and Dave cooperate to avoid some boats. Even though they're on starboard, when you're in the lead, enforcing your starboard rights sometimes is a bad move. It's your teaching moment here from the guy who's way down in the fleet. So Dave Ramos out front, so they're trading it. Alex led the first lap. Dave's going to lead the second. Got George in the second place. Tony Gonzalez up there trying to give Dave a little dirty air. As Tony creeps in on Dave, right on his stern. Dave says, "I'm out. Tony, get off my ass." But Tony takes that momentum, keeps going. George is on a run on the inside here, staying fast. Faster on the edges. Tony heading down the middle. Looks like Alex has given up a few spots as we keep her going here. 6 minutes into the race to the leeward gate for the second time. As I have a little brain fade and fog, deep in my own thoughts there. Look who's on top, Tony Gonzalez in the 5-1. Sailing for the Bahamas. Spending most of his time in Florida. Travels home quite a bit, I think. As George and Tony try to get a little separation. Get some clean air. Make their way up the course. Tony administering a little starboard love to George. Whoa, as I miss all the action. Sorry folks, rewind.
Ooh, there's a leaf right by us. Yeah, that's your hand. Say that. I'm going to go low.
Tony and Dave and George really tight there with each other. Tony tacks away, Dave and George continue on. Dave tacks back, George. Oh, that was the finish. I gotta learn how to count to 2. Gosh darn it. Old age is a wonderful thing. That's Bill Benz in the 8-8 boat. Sean Bradley, the 4-6. Coach Milliken, 21. Scott Graff with 7-7. Steve in the 8-4 boat. Gary Winton, 5-4. And Mike French, I believe, in the 1-0. Everybody finishing pretty quick. 9-minute race.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, there we go. A-Fleet race. Friday afternoon, good way to spend a Friday. Much better than working. Got Stan Wallace over here in the pink 6-9 boat. Unless it's mauve. I know my colors. That's Steve Lando, the 1-2 boat. Up the middle, Jose Valverde, the 4-8 from Spain. Guys enforcing their starboard rights and losing over there.
We both need to turn there. Okay, I'm doing a turn. 78, turn complete. Thank you.
That's Jose. Squeak clip the inside, a little melee on the outside. Never do the high-risk maneuvers far away from yourself. Visibility is low. Got to keep it safe. But it's the A-Fleet. These guys are fighting for every point because sometimes at the end of the 4 days, that's what it comes down to. It looks like the benefactor is Jose Valverde. 2-8 boat, gonna make it around first. No, I take that back. That's a 4-8 boat. I forget who that is. A lot of melee at the mark. Steve Landa on the 1-2. Come on, internet. Who's the 4-8 boat? Oh no, that is Jose Valverde. Jeez. I gotta start getting some sleep. Can't keep up the beer drinking with Peter Feldman. He's a bad influence on me. But Jose out front. Steve Lando, the 1-2 in second. Peter Feldman, the 4-4 in third. Ain't over yet. Bright green 2-6 boat. Diego Lawyer. Tony Gonzalez in the middle there. Alex Ramos in the 1-17. Marbatz in the 6-4. As we head downwind. It's Jose again. Still out front. Looks like they're going to split the marks. Steve going to the outside. The outside. Looks like Steve got there a little quicker, so Steve made some gains on that downwind now. Out outside can pay. So team outside, Steve Landau, Peter Feldman, Tony Gonzalez, Alex Ramos in the 1-15, Ken Reed in the 0-4, Jeff Becker, Darren Bremer, Skip Miller. So team outside. A lot of people bet on the outside. On this tack, looks like the big gains. Looks like Peter Feldman's getting some on Steve, but Steve's fighting back. Clawing back are these two. Looks like Jose's dropped off to the left here. he tacks on to starboard, but I may be talking too soon because he is sailing straight up the pond almost. 4-8 boat. Jose, I hear, has made it to the World Championships for Spain, so he's maybe top 20 guy in the world, sailing here in our nationals. Great to see the IOM fleet all over the world doing stuff. Coming here to our Hobe Sound. See how they stack up. So yeah, looks like Hobe.
I'm not the only one that's stretching
So Jose's making it up there. First, thought Steve and Peter were looking good, but it's like Jose first, Peter in second, 4-4. It's like Tony Gonzalez in the 5-1 and third, Barbatzer in fourth. Boats bang into each other, try to get their rights. Tight. Maybe those windward gates drifted a little closer together. Seems like they're further apart earlier. But looky here, Peter Feldman shot out of a cannon, the 4-4. Looking good going downwind. Got Tony Gonzalez in the 5-1. Steve Lando, the 1-2, and Jose Valverde. 4-8, España. And other continent here, Argentina. That's Diego Lawyer. 2-6 boat. Good fluorescent green. He's the greenest of green. At least his boat is. Sailing an A fleet, so he can't be that green. As Peter looks to pick up Mark. Peter and Steve are going to go to the outside. Again, tack immediately onto port, sail straight up the pond. Steve's continuing on a little further. As they do their mental geometry, trigonometry in their head. Poor Peter's on port, sailing through the fleet. Dad does him a solid and gets out of the way. Peter continues on, trying to hang on to fourth. He's got Tony Gonzalez nipping at his heels in the 5-1 boat. Steve Landau off to the left, in good company. Steve, can you read? And Barbatzer have chosen that outside. Peter tries to get back over and cover those guys. Get in between them and the mark. It looks like Steve Landau has made his way in front of Peter. They both went outside. Steve just went a little bit further. That was be a big battle for second here. Steve Landau in the 1-2. I've got my blockers here. I'm going to stop right in front of me. So far they're helping out. Maybe I'll just lean over. Steve Landau first. Kenny Reed hung in there. Get second. 0-4. Barr in third. Peter shuffled back to fourth. And Jose on starboard. But they make it okay unscathed. Fleet got a little more spread out this time. There was a little mayhem on that first upwind leg. Little pile up, raft up.
Nail biter.
Kenny really stayed there and fought through that one in the fleet. So now the bottom six, they're going to bounce down to B fleet. That's for A. Oh, general recall. All right, 7 Bravo, fleet up. Not sure what time it is, 2 o'clock on a Friday. B fleet, Scott Graff was doing some last minute fiddling with his boat, so we'll see. Threw it in at the last minute. Like he was tying some lines, some knots, something or other. But gets it out there, gets a start. Boat's spread across the entire course. 0-0 boat. Steve Wendell, I believe. George Pedrick there in the 5-7. It's pretty left again. All the guys going right. All the guys going left. Outside in gates, upwind gates. Some guys like them, some guys don't. But pileups around the mark have been to a minimum, so I think they're working. But if you enjoy yourself a good offset, you're in the wrong place. So it looks like George Pedrick and Chuck Luscombe rounding either side. Chuck had stayed powered up a little more. Got Brian Shores in the 117. Not sure if those sails match the new boat, Brian, but we'll see if there's lucky sails or not. So Chuck out front, George Pedrick in second, Brian Shores in third. That's Scott Graff in fourth, so yeah, I guess his last minute fiddling was okay. It was a success. Steve in the 8-4 boat. I really got to learn how to pronounce your last name. Here, I stare at it all the time. Gary Correa. Jeez. I'll figure it out, Steve, I promise. I did graduate the 17th grade, or the 18th grade. So we head down to our leeward gates. Looks like Chuck goes to the outside, George to the inside, Brian Shores to the outside. I have not figured out this course, but obviously these guys have. 7B race. 6 up, 6 down, so a lot of shuffling going on. Guys getting their money's worth racing. As Chuck tries to hold off the entire fleet, but Brian is really good at getting on that heel angle and staying there. You can see it. Brian's powered up a little more. Chuck tacks away. George Pedrick coming over here to the weeds, going to come into frame on our left, trying to cross Brian, and he does. Those are our leaders. Head upwind for the little tacking duel. There's Brian in the 117. George Pedrick on the outside. So George got Brian. Now Brian gets George. Maybe. Oh no. Just takes a stern. So George still holds on to it. Chuck Luscombe in the 2.5. Steve in the 8.4. And the rest, everybody else. John Taylor and his Woody. George tries to win this thing wire to wire. We're just heading upwind on the starboard. Brian sneaks underneath them. So Brian's back in the lead. They just need to be top 6, but it's hard to turn these guys' winter instincts off. As Brian out into first place, navigating some downwind traffic, trying to stay clear of Mr. Milken. As Brian's powered up and taken off, so really put some distance on George. George in the 5.7, but it's only top 6 that matter. So unless Brian has a seizure, he'll probably be okay. Same with Chuck Lushkin, number 3 boat. Who's number 4, but our national treasure, Mr. Mike Feldman, IOM class secretary, bucking for a seat at the table in A fleet. Looks like he might do it. We won't jinx him though. Looks like Scott Grath in the 7.7 right behind him. Steve in the 8.4 is the 6th spot. Baron Bremer is to try to snatch that away from Steve while John battles to get his Woody into A fleet. So that would be cool. As Brian and George already rounded Leeward Mark here, coming upwind. Brian just steady, really good at keeping that boat powered up. Look at that mast, just locked in. Same with George. Top sailors here in the IOM fleet don't make a lot of mistakes. As we head up towards the finish, I believe Brian's gonna head over. He has to head over because he ran out of water, but he's gonna cover Chuck at the same time. Our scorekeepers get their steps in. George tacks at 5.7. Chuck will be happy to bump up to A fleet. So Mike Feldman, don't let me jinx you, Mike. We want to see you there. Remember your finishes, guys. Got Brian. Luckily, it's not contested. So Brian in first, George in second, Chuck in third. It's Mike Feldman, 4th place. Nice job, Mike. Holding off the wild animals behind you. Yeah, Mike! All right, Mike's got a seat at the adult table now. So does Steve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it looks like Paul Todd's going to crush John Taylor's dreams of getting to A fleet. Scott Graff. Ulf. Dave Ramos with a little word salad.
05 protest 54. 05 protest 54. 05 protest 54.
All right, that's a wrap. All right, 7 Alpha. Boys hunting for that boat end. Everybody but Jeff Becker seeking out the pin. Alex Ramos, a late ad. As the boys head upwind. Oh, what? What's going on? General recall, I think. Can't hear. I tried a different tree a little further down.
10 minutes from now.
Alright, Mark making last minute adjustment there. 1 minute to go. A fleet. Second attempt at starting here. The boys fighting hard for the boat end. Wow, they're really fighting for it. Tony G coming in late, looking for a hole. See if he finds one. Mike Feldman spilling down the line, the 1-5 boat. Welcome to A Fleet, Mike. Alright, Jeff Becker down there at the pin, all powered up, clean air, all by himself. A lot of other folks fighting, going slow here. But it's a lot of boat lengths to be there at the far end. But maybe not. Let's see what kind of magic Jeff can pull out here. Kenny Reed in the 04, green stripes. Jose Valverde, the 4.8. Gold boat.
Sorry, Mark. Get out of there.
Got Alex Ramos here in the 115. As we all head upwind, as I yawn, 2:20 here, got a couple more hours of sailing, a couple more hours of beer drinking, a couple more hours of video editing, a couple more hours of boat prep, and a bunch more hours of racing tomorrow. As Ken Reed eyeballs up this right side mark, although it looks like Brian Shore's getting to the left side mark first, so Brian around first, Kenny second, Diego Lawyer, the 2.6 boat, Dayglow green, and not in bad shape. Starting all the way to the other end of the line was Jeff Becker, the 6.5, so middle of the line worked, far end of the line worked. We're out where Brian started. Brian's there in the 117. Ken's trying to keep things powered up. A little jib flutter in the viz. And comes up a little bit. Takes care of that. Right on that edge, looking for max downwind speeds. Half the race course, that downwind. Everybody focus on upwind. Got to be fast downwind too. Diego in the 2.6 boat out there. Jeff Becker in the 8.5. Although Diego's defending the inside. Steve Cucchiaro. The 8.4 is sneaking up on him. There's another Viz. Orange Viz. We got from the Chuck Milliken racing team. Vero Beach boys. As Ken comes over the shore here, both on port tacks. Brian goes to the outside, but kind of tacks immediately. Kind of gets headed a little bit as I get my drunken camera holding here. Kenny on starboard. 05, trying to chase Brian down, decides to tack, go with the flow, find another place to attack. As Brian heads up the middle, 117. Wondering where his buddy Kevin Hayes is. Kevin hanging out in Texas. Watching from the cheap seats. Brian Shores in 117 at first. Kenny in the 04 at second. Diego in the 26. And third. Fourth, probably Chuck Lushcombe here. Maybe not. Diego. Fourth, fifth. Got Peter Feldman out there in the 4-4. Steve Lando. Lando, my big toe. In the 1-2 boat. Heading near the shoal. Doesn't want to tack across the course. Wants to go up the course. There's another big tack back. Open for that left shift. Lift him up and over. That's Brian Shores. 117 trying to go wire to wire. Ken Reed in the 04. Peter Feldman's worked his way into second. We're into third. Diego at fourth. Boy, a lot of boats coming around there. Everybody ended up on this right-hand mark. Hardly anybody on the other side. Brian's checking out. In clean air, there's Brian 117. Ken Reed in the 04. Peter hanging on to third. So Vente Viz Viz and Lime Green. Not sure what. Diego's skipper in there. Got Steve Lando in the middle there. Steve Cucchiaro. I'm going to say it 4,000 times so I can remember. We got our class secretary fighting for his life. Not to be bottom six so we can stay in A fleet. It's going to be close there, Mr. Feldman. Mr. Mike. As Brian rounds downwind all alone. Brian's the only one heading upwind now. 117. Brian is his glory. Looks like he's going to win this one unless he falls over something. Has a seizure or radio failure. Brian just messing around now, just slow tacking, letting the guys catch up. It's no fun to finish all by yourself. As the wind swirls and shifts around here, Brian's powered up again. Big lefty. Brian eases out, reaching up the course, but Peter got some height. Look at me. Peter's out there making some magic in the 4-4. You could do a lot when you're sponsored by the U.S. Treasury. The 4-4 boat trying to get Shoresy. Brian's a little low. Gonna have to throw a tack in. Peter's, oh boy, it's gonna be a close one. And Peter gets it. Nice job, Peter, seeing those angles. Just crushing Brian's dreams on that last leg. He went to the outside and was able just to lay that whole leg. So it really shifted left. So it's Chuck Lushcombe. Steve Cucchiaro. I'm going to get it right, Steve. Promise. 8-4. Skip Miller, Bar Batzer, also known as Bar Bratzer. Paul Todd. Jeff Becker. No, Mike Feldman. Looks like you're going down. Back to B Fleet, Mike. go. Oh no! I'm prepared. I see the flashing battery of death. I got one in my pocket this time. I don't have to go on the run. But 8C race here. See how long the battery hangs on. Get the quick change in today. As we head upwind. Dave Lindell, I believe, in the 00 boat. 00. Who was the Oakland Raider that was 00 back in the day? Something Otto? I don't know. Can't remember. Back online. Didn't miss too much. As Will Van Cleef and 10. Is that Mike French? Hopefully, I'll have to look up on my cheat sheet. Got Will Van Cleef in the 7.6. Heading downwind, Dave Ramos in 05. Bow in the bow a little bit on the Britpops in that puff. 10, Mike French. Bill Benz coming out of retirement in the 8.8. Bill was doing good yesterday. Got some A-fleeters in. But every day is a new day, model sailing. So Bill in 4th. What was that? 03, John Luscombe. Looking to make his way to B-Fleet. Got Jimmy Sears out there, boy with a dream. Running downwind in 7.4. 8.7. Got Gary Winton out there in the 5.4. Mark Flickenstein in the 4.2, I believe. 9.8, Drew Beach. The C-fleeters want to be A-fleeters. Oh no, I leaned on the pole. One of the ants bit me. Want to see the ants? There's the ants. Those are the ones that got me and Kenny Reed. Don't lean on the pole, Charlie, or on the tree. There's ants. And they bite.
Yeah, firing.
They like the out-of-towners because we're soft.
West Coast Cliff.
Yep. Is that what those are? Fire ants?
Yeah.
I thought fire ants were red. I need to watch some more National Geographic, or
Maybe they're just ferocious black.
I don't know. All right, 8C coming on strong. Dave Ramos in 05. Looks like he's got the best of Mr. Van Cleef in 7.6. John Luscombe, our illustrious organizer, in 03. Working, racing, trying to herd the cats and kick us out of here by 5 at all costs. As John takes some sterns on starboard. Dave and Will do some crossing up here. As we head up to our windward gate for the first time. Mike French in the 10. Dave Ramos in the 05. Father-son team here this weekend. I don't know where Alex is. They were 1-2 in one of the races. I think Alex had some problems with his boat, late start. Might have got pushed down. As C-Fleet tries to be top 6 so they can get into B-Fleet. And all you got to do is do it again. Get into A-Fleet. And then hold on for dear life. Don't be bottom 6. Looks like we're trading places. Will's out front here. Dave, 7.6. And downwind. Wind's got a little fluky, swirly here. Late in the day, after 2. Probably going on 3 o'clock-ish. How long do we go today, Charlie? 4:30?
4:45.
4:45.
Your prerogative.
All right, Charlie's our PRO, so we all listen to him. He doesn't hear any back talk whatsoever. Very respectful IOM fleet here this weekend. As Will and Dave continue to battle it out on the course. Dave gets the puff, Will doesn't. Now Will's got the puff. Boys are all shot out of a cannon. So Will's out front, Dave, Mike French the 1-0. Now we got Gary Winton in the 4th spot. Drew Beach and Mark Flickenstein in the 5th and 6th, and Jimmy Sears in the 7th. Jimmy's got to find a way. Got to pass a boat or two, put something in the bank. Everybody going outside. Boy with a dream going to the inside. Jim's a multi-class sailor, 95, 65. I think he's got a Hobe. He's got a Newport 12. He's got a little bit of everything. We watch Jim. Some other boats come at me. I can't see sail numbers on those. You can compare some heel angles. There's our first place skipper, Will Van Cleef, in frame. As he eyeballs his boat. Eyeballs his boat, mean mugs Dave Ramos behind him, try to intimidate him as he slams his tack onto starboard off the shore. Well, he doesn't go all the way to the shore, but he says, oh, I'm going to cover Dave. Got to keep him close. Keep your friends close, your enemies closer. So, there's Will. All right, well, we got some game film for you this time, Will. There's Will in the 7-6. He might have a seizure here right before the line, though. We'll make sure his boat doesn't sink or anything. I think Will gets it first. Dave gets second. 0-5. Gary Winton in 3rd. 4th, 5th, 6th. Look like Jimmy Sears found a way. Boy with a dream is gonna keep that thing powered up, Jimmy. There's some fast boats behind you. Jim handles him nicely for that 6th spot. Nice job, Jimmy. There's John Luscombe in the crying position, the 7th. Bill Benz matching his number in 8th. Jarl and Gary coming in there at the end. And a Sea Fleet going on to B. Alright, here's a B Fleet race. I just found out I was an idiot. I sailed in D Fleet and I was really in C Fleet. So I sailed poorly in D. I think they're going to create an E Fleet for me. I'm making silly mistakes. As a few people does penalty turns. And Mr. John Taylor out front, the 2.8, the Woody. As we head upwind, Jeff Becker in the 6.5. Tacking on the starboard. Dave Ramos in the middle there in the 0.5. As we maneuver, jockey for position. As Jim Sears works up the shore here. Freeway Serenade, Friday afternoon going north. It's looking a little slow today. You could be a commuter or a model sailor. I'd choose model sailor. Stan Wallace is going to the outside. John Taylor makes it around first. Nice job, John. As we head downwind, got Alex Ramos, the 115, right behind him. There's Dad, 0.5. Team Ramos. Dave and Alex heading downwind, trying to smother John. John's like, get away, I'm trying to get to A Fleet. Get away from him, John, don't let him slow you down. Get out of there. Dave's giving you the smother treatment. Oops. There's Dave giving John the smother treatment. Alex is going to be the benefactor of Dave and John going slow. He can get a puff. They got a lot of boats behind him. These boys head downwind. There it is. I manifested it. Alex getting the puff, and Dave and John going slow together. This isn't NASCAR. Drafting does not work. Got to get in that clear air and pressure and go. There goes Alex. Dave finally gets out behind John because that's a roadblock. And Alex is going to have his pick of the marks. Looks like he's sizing up the outside mark. He might be going inside. As I stare at the palm tree, hoping the ants don't watch on me. Alex, Alex chooses the inside, 115. Dave and John go on the outside. They're going to do the partner sailing. As Alex just points straight up the gut. I think in this scenario, that outer buoy pays. So we get onto that port tack. Go up. There's Tony cutting into the middle. 5-1 boat. Trying to take charge. Tony's on starboard. John takes John's stern. John's still fighting for his life in a sea of fiberglass. Both technically composite boats for you materials folks out there. I'm sure the wood has some thin coat of glass on it, epoxy, versus the, what do they call it? Glass reinforced plastic, GRP, fiberglass. Although Alex looks like he's squirting out front in the 115. He's taking Dad along for the ride in the 05. John Taylor trying to make something out of the leftovers here. As Dave avoids a few starboard boats. Dave's going fast. He's cracked off a little bit. Oops, lost him. There he goes. Getting a little foggy here late in the day, folks. I didn't even drink that much last night. But as long as I'm not in Rhode Island, I'm safe. There's Alex. Looks like he's finding himself out front. 115. Dave and John around that mark. Tony Gonzalez on the outside. Stan Wallace on the other side. They're going to have something to say as I head back downwind. It's been most of the guys. Alex got that Vickers boat working good. Tony Gonzalez.
Just stay clear. No, I am clear.
As boys have a little discussion of what clear means. Alex out front, Dave Ramos in the 05, John Taylor in the 28, Tony Gonzalez on the outside. He's got some overlap. They're probably going to have to give him some room. Stan Wallace, 6'9" boat. Got Ulf Lindbergh, the 112, 3D printed Alliot. Ulf has been Making some plastics for the world. And back to Alex. Alex still up front, the 115. Making her happen. John and Dave might. Let's watch the action here. John gives Dave some room. Out to the outside. Dave flops pretty quickly. Come back. Tony carries on, gets a little bit of height as we head into our finish line. Alex is low to the inside, so he's definitely going to have to get a tack or two to get to the finish line. Some emergency spots on the freeway. Oh, the cops, get him. Not emergency. I don't know what they call them in Florida. Highway Patrol. State Patrol in Washington. California Highway Patrol in California. That's about all I know. That was Alex all by himself in the 115. Got Dave in the 05. John was in first for a little bit. Gonna settle for a third or a fourth here, maybe. The 28 boat. Tony Gonzalez in the 5-1. Working hard to get some gains. Got the out-of-towners, Stan Wallace and Ulf Lindbergh. Stan has to duck and mass touch, unfortunately. Stan's doing a circle in the middle of traffic. Alex is safely across. There's Dave in second place. John Taylor in third in the 2-8. Tony Gonzalez in fourth. Jim Sears trying to get the bump up. I've lost track now. Jim might have got it. That's a lot of boats coming into the finish line at the same time. Don't drive north on 95 through Hobe Sound at the moment. It's a parking lot. Going slow. All right. That's B Fleet. That's all right. All right, 8A here, 20 seconds to go. A lot of people fighting for the boat end. Keep bailing out. Oh boy, everybody over. General recall. Hit the button. All right, A Fleet, 8A restart. Let's spread out on the line a little better. Not so much fighting for the boat end.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, 50 seconds. The U flag's up. I'm not crazy. I'm talking to the camera. People think I'm nuts over here talking to myself, but it's for the art. It's for the video, folks. 30 seconds. U flag's out. Nobody wants to be over early. Get DSQ'd. Still got a gaggle of boats here looking for the boat side. A few stragglers heading down the line. Alex Ramos, Jim Sears. Wanting to try the pin end. Kenny Reed in the middle. Mark Allison at the boat end for a change. What's going on, Mark? Had a change of heart. boats go upwind here. Steve Cucchiaro in the middle there. 8-4 boat, Viz. 7-8, Skip Miller from Bahamas. We got I'm not sure if this tree is good. Everybody likes to stop in front of me. But I got Skip Miller on the right. I got everybody's here. Still bunched together pretty good for the first lap. Let's see who gets to the mark first. These windward gates are a different strategy if you've never done them before. It looks like Steve Cucchiaro made it first. So Steve's out front as a rules discussion going on. Tony and Mark, 7-8. That's Skip Miller in second. Mark Garlison 5-5. Tony Gonzalez 5-1. Jose Valverde 4-8. Mark Batzer the 6-4. Downwind for the first time. Things are getting a little spicy here late in the day. As we all walk. Walk down. Looks like Mark Garlison getting this inside mark first. Steve rounds a little too tight and hooks keel. Bummer, Steve. So yeah, Steve was having a time of his life here in A Fleet until it wasn't. But, Tony Gonzalez in the 5-1 here. In the middle, making some waves. As I stand on the rocky ground, my old man feet. It's got Mark Garlison on starboard, crossing the fleet here. Let's see who has to avoid. There's Tony, has to duck, give him a little duck there. As Mark heads out to the middle of the course, trying to cover everybody. Mark in the 5-5. Bar Batzer over here in the 6-4. On Tony's hip in the 5-1. Bar continues on, takes another little bite. As everybody heads upwind, that's Steve Lando in the 1-2. George Pedrick in the 5-7. Mark making good work of this leg. 5-5. Still out front. George Pedrick looks like he's working his way up there in second. Same with Bar Batzer in the 6-4. Brian Shores in the 1-1-7. I think he had a little altercation early on, so he's got some work to do. Try to come back, but Brian knows how to do it as he gets lifted here. As George and Barr come around first and second there, I think. another lead change. George Pedrick, a 5-7 boat. Steve Lando, a 1-2. Mark Batzer in 6-4. And the Tony and Mark. Oh, there's Mark. Mark's in the 5-5. Taking a big puff downwind here. As the boats are banging around. Don't see anybody burying the bow yet, so it's still A-rig. As George is out front, 5-7. His first group still pretty packed. As Tony Gonzalez tries to get some gains, going downwind at the 5-1. Looks like George is going to get it first, go to the outside. See what George does. Head out for a while and then tack? Yeah, tack just to get clear, everybody. Sail right up the middle to the finish line. As our scorekeepers walk down the beach, and then they yell for Charlie. Trying to get him, so George is sailing away on this one. 5-7 boat. Mark Gallison, the 5-5. Getting a little squirrely. Mark is just standing, mast is straight up out there. Just waiting, good patience by Mark. Waits for the wind and goes. Jeez. Gallison, very patient there. I would have thrown in 3 tacks and let 9 boats sail by me. Guess that's why Mark's an A fleet. Anyways, back to our leader, George, out front, 5-7. Looks like Mark in second. Although Steve Landau's making a little move, forces Dave Ramos to tack. Steve tacks back. See if he can squirt by Tony, and he does. As I head towards the finish. Give George his fame. He's 5-7 in first place. It's going to get spicy here. As Peter tacks on the starboard. Dave's got a really tight leech on that boat. He's been sailing well. As everybody. Well, I guess that's what happens when you try to film on the ley line. Tree was a tough one there. All right, that's A fleet, so maybe I'll sail in the right fleet this go round.